did Tottenham get all those goals?
That was the goal by Christian Zege. I think. Like you said, coming from the Portugal Corona game, it was not really a game that they were set out to play for. And the fact that they've lost 3 consecutive, sometimes this thing plays in your mind. A team that has been defeating you all the time, you just go there and you set up shop to want to do damage control instead of going all out to say, this is a team that will never win, we want to win. So the attitude of damage control is always going to make you make more mistakes than if you set up your mind to go forward. But then I think what the game changer, like he said, is the dressing room attitude and all that. But I think Glenn Hoddle also lost this game for Tottenham Hotspur. You don't play against the Manchester United, for instance, and get arrogant about your scoreline after 45 minutes. Yeah, we must say that Manchester United, apart from being a football club, is an institution when it comes to football. And there are 3 goals down in the first 45 minutes. I expected that the formation should have changed. You're playing a 3-5-2 formation in that slot. Now you're leading 3 goals to me. Shut up the back. You must play very well defensively. Play 4-5-1. Make sure that midfield is structured. But at least at the back, you have the full complement of your players who could stand up against them. And when they brought in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, what was the coach thinking? A midfielder had gone out. 1 man in the middle had gone out. And 1 player, Manchester United could fly above the head of the 5 midfielders in the setup. So you should close shop. But he didn't do that. They considered the first goal, considered the second one. And he was still watching. He didn't even make a change. The 11 players that started that game ended the game when Manchester United was bringing in players who could turn the game around for any team in the world. So I think it was Glenn Hoddle that lost it for Tottenham rather than the Manchester United.
Okay, two things. This is going to sound bizarre. I think Matthew just said someone underestimated Manchester United.
Well,
I mean, who does that?
Well, I think that he has a fantastic point, because I mean, you look at that game, the way United started out. Tottenham were leading 3-0. If you're going to bet, you pay your money on Tottenham getting more goals.
Absolutely.
Because United did not show up. Absolutely. And so Glenn Hoddle can be forgiven into going into the second half thinking that they had won this one. But where will not be forgiven is not making the changes necessary when United had gotten 1-3-1-2. The moment United came back into the game, first minutes in the second half, we all knew that maybe a comeback was on the cards. What they should have done, like Matthew rightly pointed out, was bring more men, particularly at the back. Have one more man at the back. There was Andy Cole in that game. There was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There was Ryan Giggs. There was David Beckham who can whip in those crosses. They just didn't have enough men. And once United got a stranglehold, it was only a matter of time.
Okay. This fantastic players aside, let's talk about Sir Alex Ferguson. We always hear about his air dryer treatment, that famous air dryer treatment. Biola, please tell us how it goes down.
Well,
how does it? I mean, what does it do in the dressing room?
We hear that the sound of his voice can even be heard by some of the fans in the stadium. And how that happens, I do not understand. And I heard he's always like a yard away from a player's face and is screaming obscenities
at your face.
At the face, and is demanding a performance from the player. Reminds them how much they earn per week, how this club has been successful over the years, and you will not be the person to come and stop it. It will remind you of all sorts and fire you up so much so that you want to go out, prove yourself, and come back.
Is it true? David Beckham?
Yeah, David Beckham absolutely caught his eye, and that was the beginning of the end for Beckham as a career. And it shows you the mark of the man. Even after physically assaulting a player, he still found a way to make sure that the guy leaves Manchester United, because he demands 100% commitment at all times. Not enough players can meet up to that.
Kibati, you must admit that for a club like Manchester United, I said earlier on, they're not just a football club, they're an institution. You don't go and say you want to bring an institution down. Whatever it takes to keep the image of that institution at the very top, that by their own standard, they've raised it higher than any other club in the world. You must give it to them, or probably Real Madrid and AC Milan will be at par with them. You would do it, and if it means cutting the player's eye and sending him away, you've got to bring somebody else that will do the job. And give the man a whole lot of credit. He's succeeded across board.
34 trophies.
Eric Cantona to Jaap Stam to Ruud van Nistelrooy. Who would have thought he would let him go? But they succeeded.
Okay, Manchester United got 4. I mean, I think that was overkill. 5 goals in the second half. But who was finally? Very quickly, guys, who was it? Was it 1 or 2 players? But I'm sure someone must have been that influential factor who stepped up their game for Manchester United in the second half.
For Manchester United, I mean, getting 5 goals, it can't be one person. But I feel that if you want to pick one person, obviously it's got to be David Beckham.
Those crosses were wonderful. Excellent.
One for Andy Cole and one for, the first one for Andy Cole was Gary Neville, but that fantastic one for Laurent Blanc, 4-3-2, was very, very crucial.
And the thing is, David Beckham has got this attitude of, he can call your name in the midst of crowd, pick you out, and give you that what Pirlo does now, but not as good as the Beckham does it. So at the time, his career was at the ascendancy. And you must remember that 2 years ago, 1999, at the Nou Camp, this same team had come from the dead. And then the man who was a part of that comeback, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, had just stepped into the scene. So there is that spirit, that attitude of, we can do it no matter what. And they did it.
Well, we've had so many things, I mean, that brought about the game changer in that encounter, from from Glenn Hoddle's mistakes, and underestimating Manchester United, to the air dryer treatment of Sir Alex Ferguson, to even the players in Manchester United. But whatever the case may be, we will never forget that game. That game typifies Manchester United's spirit. Well, that's all we can take on the Game Changer segment today, but we've not even started the show yet. We've still got the Rumble, and don't forget that you can participate by sending an SMS to 33073. Just type CRFA or CRFB or CRFC, depending on if you think Arsenal will win, play a draw, or Tottenham will get a win today. We'll be right back.